So
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you, let's say you found a high value man, and would you continue going to the clubs with your friends?
That would be a conversation for him and I, because I could respect if a man has some trauma or like trust issues, or if he views that in a certain way, then like I would probably stop. But I wouldn't respect him saying like, well, I would still want to go out. That would have to be a conversation we would have, but I would still want to like go out with him. If he doesn't let me go out with my friends, I would be like, okay, well, what if you come with us? Or like, you bring your friends, I bring my friends.
What if he says he just doesn't go to bars and clubs and he doesn't want to go out with you guys?
Well, like I said, that would be a conversation him and I would have to have and openly communicate.
But see, you know that going to the clubs portrays a specific image of you then, so it's obviously a conversation you would have to have, so you understand what going to the club
and also
means.
why does him not wanting you to go to bars and clubs have to stem from him being like a past trauma or him being insecure? I assume that's what you said. And you said, well, if he's got a past trauma and we had to have a conversation about it, what if he just didn't want you to go to bars and clubs?
Because I feel like any conception that anyone forms is based on past experiences. And I would think when like men think that what you guys think, you've had unpleasant experiences, or you've had some girls that are just kind of like for the team and really do sleep around that go out. So then you form this conception that all women that go out are like that, if that makes sense. So it would have to be like a conversation. We would have to have like a mature, open conversation.
Well, okay. So, but it sounds to me like you would not be willing for your boyfriend, maybe even husband, to give up going to the club.
No, I would be.
Well, that's not what it sounded like.
Could you rephrase that? Sorry.
Well, okay. I asked you if your boyfriend said, hey, I don't want you going. Let's say you asked the guy for commitment and he said, I'm prepared to commit to you. However, I don't want you going to bars, clubs, and parties anymore.
I would have to ask if he's going to be going to them too.
Let's say no.
Then no. I would think that like the relationship is more important than that.
Okay. All right.
Like that's actually one of the most beautiful things in human life is any social relationships we have, friendships or romantic. So I'd be totally willing to sacrifice going out as long as he is too for our relationship, because I would value that more than going out.
Wait,
like if I was dying tomorrow, like I would pick like the relationship over going
Go
out.
ahead.
I left the relationship because of that, and I was so miserable. I hated it. Like I felt like I was like like obeying him, and like because he didn't want me to go out, so I was like not going out also. But there was like something that I just like was not happy about that. Like I would like see my friends like going out, and like they were in relationships also, but like they were having fun with their partners and stuff like that. And I just, you're so young. Like I feel like if you want to go out, you should want to go out. Don't just like accept like, oh, because he's saying like, you know, don't go out or whatever. Then
Here, question for the whole table. Do you guys think a guy not wanting his girlfriend to go to bars, clubs, parties, do you think that's insecurity? Do you think that's him being controlling?
Yes, very controlling.
I think it is insecure and controlling, but again, that's something that needs to be communicated, and there's a reason why a man holds those insecurities.
So
like, again,
what
it's
you
from
call,
experiences in
what
the
you
past.
guys might call insecure or controlling, I call having standards and boundaries.
But then why are you attacking her when she was trying to like make her statement that
attacking
she's,
her.
Yeah, no attack.
that she's a high value woman?
I didn't
Those were,
I didn't
like,
use that
her-
as a cudgel to attack her. I was asking how she's a high value woman.
If she was high value, she would respect her husband or boyfriend or whatever telling her that he doesn't want to go to the clubs.
Hold on.
High Value Man donated $200.
Oh, man, these
She's
guys are
about
after
as high
sponsoring
value
that.
as a used gum wrapper. Rat girl is weird, but fine as F. I bet we all know the answer, but let's have them rate themselves 1 to 10.
Wait, what? I bet we all know answers, but let's have them rate themselves 1 to 10. Here, high value man.
Wait, first of
I
all-
want to finish off. We'll get to that. We'll get to the 1 to 10 question. Stifler has it ready for us. We'll come back to that. Okay. Thank you, man.
Also, I just want to say that I don't know why you titled yourself as high value man. He wouldn't be sitting behind his phone screen typing right now. Negativity.
Have you ever
Anyways.
watched the Kardashians?
No, I haven't.
You've never watched
No.
any reality TV?
No.
Have
I
you ever
haven't.
doom scrolled on TikTok for 2 hours
When I was younger, yeah.
when you were younger?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do for
I watch like videos that educate myself
on what?
on like life, on everything.
Okay.
On the conversations we're having.
So
How to make money, like how to invest, like how to have good relationships, how to like love yourself. I'd rather spend my time watching educational self-improvement content like that, and also balancing it out.
this is a
With
highly
watching it
educational
in
conversation we're having right now.
Low-key, it is. Yeah. I'd rather spend
Thank
my
you,
time
high
watching
value man. I
videos like
appreciate
that,
you.
yeah.
Did you? So you guys were saying it's insecure, I guess.
What do you guys think?
Oh, hold on. We'll go around.
Butler donated $200.
Is it about herpes? Is he going to mention herpes? Yep, he mentioned herpes.
Clubs all have genital herpes. I can smell your rancid lady parts from here.
Whoa, let's
and
be
I'm
nice,
actually
okay? Let's be
concerned for the
nice.
health and
All
safety
right.
for the people in that room.
Is herpes? I don't think herpes is.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What is wrong with going to the club? What is wrong for a woman to go to the club? I'm genuinely curious to know.
And is it going to clubs, bars, and like parties specifically, or is it just going out with the girls?
What's the difference? What do you mean going out with the girls?
Going out with the girls, like, are they going to be like, oh, I just don't want you going out with the girls in general, which can range from literally getting our nails done, going to the movies, like just having fun?
That's fine. That's fine. These are the just very specific social scenarios where there's almost going to be an expectation that you get approached. Look, I get it. You girls might get hit on your way to Trader Joe's. You're looking frumpy and you're wearing sweatpants. I get that happens. I'm not saying don't go to Trader Joe's, but these are very, very specific social gathering venues.
They're high risk environments.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's a whole bunch of concerns like, okay,
Stuff getting put in the drinks.
right.
Guys constantly approaching you all night. And we talking about from the context of you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, that puts a man, it uneases us, because you go out, whether you with your girlfriends, doing whatever, having fun, you have no intentions of getting laid or anything like that, cheating, those things can still happen. Things that I can't say can still happen. And then if I told you I don't want you doing that, and one of those things happens to transpire, how are you going to explain that to me? How are you going to tell me that I told you so, and this is the reason that I told you I didn't want you to do this, or I wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck, I forgot the word. I didn't want you to do it, basically. If I told you I didn't want you to do it and you do it and something happens that comes back and puts our relationship in jeopardy, how are you going to reconcile with me and that relationship? And that's essentially what it's about. It's minimizing the risk that anything harmful that could happen to you or our relationship, that's what it is. It's mitigating that risk. Because women like to do things and believe they're in full control. This is not going to happen.
Beaten Cheeks donated $200. My girl goes out all the time, drinks, even hooks up with guys at times, but very secure in my woman, at least washing off after her hookups. She even does of. I am super secure in my future. You, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Beaten Cheeks. Appreciate it, man. Good to see you in the chat, dude. Good to see you. Did you want to continue on?
Yeah. I'm saying we have these conversations and we never look at the realities of what actually can happen, the possibilities, the probabilities. We have conversations in general. We say, oh, we don't like this, we don't like that, or this is insecure, this is that. But the reality is these things happen. They transpire all the time. There are guys who they let their girlfriends go to clubs. They get cheated on. Their girlfriends get, I can't say it, drugged.
Yeah.
They
know what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. That happens. They might get taken into a bathroom. It's just mitigating risk. That's what it is. And as women think, oh, this is not going to happen to me. I'm in full control. But the reality is women don't know what the fuck is going to happen. Y'all have no idea what's going to happen when y'all put yourselves in these situations. Just like you said, and I'm not picking on you, but you said, yeah, I went to the club, you had the one night stand or whatever. Yeah, I met a guy, this, that, and the third. Y'all can't predict what's going to happen. And that's just the thing. So it's better to avoid the risk altogether simply because you can't predict what's going to happen. And that's essentially what it is to us. We're territorial. We're protective. We don't want that to happen to you. Even if you think that never could, the possibility still exists. And we're just trying to avoid that possibility. You can call it insecurity if you want. We call it territorial. We call it being protective. We call it being a leader.
As long as you voice that, I don't think it should be an issue, if that makes sense.
Did you have something?
I was
You were
gonna
raising your
say
hand.
it could happen anywhere. I mean, like, to be completely fair, like differentiating from what area you live in to everything.
We're not saying it. We're not saying that though.
Yeah, but I feel like even in those places specifically, why not go together? Like, why not make sure she's safe? Why not have fun with her? Why not?
That's a whole
Go
nother thing.
hang out.
I don't know what your views are on going out with your girl, but I think I just think going out in general, and I'm a bit risk averse in this sense. Going out to these environments in general is dangerous to begin with. Like, you've been out to parties in IV, right? How many fights do you see when you go out and party in IV? Every single fucking night, right?
Probably.
Some dude, fucking brain damage, some 19-year-old kid smacked his head on the concrete, brain damage rest of his life. It's not worth it. And like, the thing is, when you go out with your girl, especially if your girl is not like, some girls might have a loud mouth, right? Let me ask you guys a question. If you were out with your guy and some guy like walked by and said some shit to you, would you want your man to like defend you, intervene on your behalf?
No, because it doesn't matter. Why does it matter?
I was just about to say. I said I don't party or club when I'm 30 now. When I was 20, I went to a club. When I was 21, I went to a club with my girlfriend at the time, and I don't like those environments. I told her I didn't want to go, but it was her birthday, and her older sister was like, we going, I got her, you know what I'm saying? We all gonna go together. It was me, her sister, her male cousin. And just for example, I hated it. I did not want to be there. Didn't like the environment. She got drunk. It was her birthday. She got a little too drunk, and when she was coming back from the bathroom, she bumped into a guy accidentally. He goes, watch where you're going, bitch, like that. So what do you think I have to do now? Now I got to step in because you disrespected my woman. She can't help herself. She tried to catch herself. She couldn't help. Her sister was supposed to help her, but her sister was going to help her because she went to the bathroom with her. But she stumbled and hit him. He was like, watch where you going, bitch. So now I got to step in. So now there's a conflict in the club that I have to defend that I shouldn't have to because I didn't want to go to begin with, but I tried to be understanding. And that's what Brian means by risk averse too. It's a risky environment, not only for things regarding y'all, drinks, drugs, all of that stuff, but conflict.
I understand all of this, and I feel like it's all pointing fingers towards the root issue at hand, which is alcohol, which makes people out of control. That's why I think it was really cool how you said you haven't been drinking for so many days, because our society has normalized it.
34, but during my celibacy I was also like not drinking either. I do it like periodically. Because
see what kind of issues like we run into. Like, your girlfriend couldn't control herself. She stumbled upon someone. People cheat on their partners.
That's the other thing.
Men get into fights. It does like make people more aggressive. It makes people have sex with people they didn't want to have sex with. So I feel like that's really the root issue at hand, and that's also why I don't want to be doing it as often. So I understand where you guys are coming from. That's why I think it's very different if like girls just like go out with their girlfriends to like a restaurant, for example, than in a club, because alcohol does pose a lot of issues. And that's why if I had
go get dinner, that's cool.
And if I had a significant partner right now, like, I probably wouldn't want them to go out either, because then there's that risk of them cheating on you. So I actually value your point a lot. Actually, it really like opened my mind, and if I had a boyfriend right now, I probably wouldn't want him to go out, and I would respect him not wanting me to go out, because there are a lot of risks that would jeopardize the relationship or our safety, especially the safety of a woman.
And to add what Q was saying, so if you're a girl, especially if there's alcohol involved, if your girl's mouthy, like, I've seen so many, you can find fight videos online, I've seen it in person, where a girl will mouth off to some dude. You can see this anywhere. You'll see it like in a NFL game in the stadium. I've seen videos of, there was this one video of this girl mouthing off to some dude. And then the dude who she was mouthing off to is like, okay, she's not a threat, but the boyfriend is. I'm going to scorch the boyfriend. And he just fucking, boom, clocks him. Cool, brain damage, good times. So it's a risky situation to be in, especially if you got like your girl's drinking, if she can be mouthy. And like, it's at risk because a lot of women know that they can mouth off to a dude and they're not going to do anything. But if your boyfriend's in the picture, that guy who you're mouthing off to, he starts looking,
redirects his aggression to you.
Oh, okay, he's a potential threat. Boom, now you're in a fight, and that could be life-changing shit. People go to bars and clubs. They get drunk. They punch somebody. The guy hits his head on the concrete. Boom. Murder, 20 years in prison. Or if you're on the receiving end of it, permanent, you fucking die, brain damage. It's crazy. So it's just not worth it. And then of course, like you was saying, like if you go out, like we as men, if you guys are looking at us to be protectors, that's us being like trying to protect you from risky situations. And we know that like the guys, like you guys said, the guys that go to these environments might not be the most respectable members of the community. Who knows what they might try to they might try to put something in your drink. They might try to
they're trying to get laid.
They might try to grab up on you. Like we don't want you in that position. That's us protecting you and wanting to protect the relationship. So
that's why communication is so important, because if you're just telling your partner, hey, I don't want you to go to a club, I don't want you to go to a party, and they're like, okay, why? Oh, just because I don't want you to go. If you're telling them like, oh, these are the risk factors that are going into it, I would understand more. But if you're just telling me no and you're like, I just don't want you to go, I'm gonna think you're being controlling and trying to stop me.
Yeah, and I get that. I understand that. A lot of y'all date idiots. Yeah, a lot of y'all date guys who can't articulate themselves. They don't know how to explain how they feel, and that's what you resort to. You believe, okay, this is coming from a place of insecurity. But when you have guys like me and Brian who know how to articulate ourselves, I can tell I'm a great leader in my relationships. I know how to tell my woman, I know how to express exactly to my woman why I don't want her to do something. And most of the time she'll understand. I say most of the time because sometimes y'all hard-headed and y'all stubborn. But most of the time she will understand. Okay, I can understand that. And to the guys out there watching, it's easier to just avoid women who enjoy doing things like she said, like you said, you felt trapped. Yeah, exactly.
But mine wasn't just clubs or bars. Like mine's, I couldn't even go to like a trip with my girls to Hawaii. I wasn't allowed to go to any concerts. Like the weekend concert, like I remember specifically that I like wanted to go with like my girlfriends, and like he just like was like, no, you're not allowed to go do any of that because of the reason that you guys had spoken about.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's easier for the fellas out there. Y'all just date women or try to find women who value what you value, who y'all ride in the same circles, y'all have the same interests. Assortative mating is a thing, monogamy is a thing. Date somebody who values the same things you value in terms of activities and things that you can do, because there are women are entitled to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And as a guy, exercising good mate selection is understanding you have to eliminate those women from your dating pool. It's that simple.
Yeah, I agree, because we would always go out when we were first dating, so that kind of like twisted my mind. I was like, why was it okay in the beginning and now it's not? Like I got snatched of it.
Right, and I can understand that too with him switching up. That's another thing.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Good talk. Good talk.